Section 1-2, Arithmetic and Properties of Real Numbers. So first off, let's talk about what happens when we add two numbers. When we talk about like signs, what this means is that both numbers are either positive or they're both negative. So they have to be the same. So they're both positive, both negative. So we would add their absolute values, use the common sign. If they're unlike signs, that means one is positive and one is negative. What we do is we look at their absolute values, take the larger absolute value minus the smaller absolute value, and whichever number was bigger, that's the sign the answer gets. So if the bigger number was negative, your answer is negative. If it was positive, your answer is positive. So if we look at this first example, notice there are two like signs. They are both negative. So what that means is we can add their absolute values. So we can do 5 plus 13 is 18. But they were both negative, so our answer is negative. In this case, the negative 20 plus 17, these are unlike signs. So we take their absolute values, so 20 minus 17 is 3, but this 20 was negative, so our answer has to be negative as well. And this last one, once again, they have different signs. So we want to do 35 minus 8, we get 27. 35 was positive, so our answer is positive. Now when we subtract two numbers, the key thing is we can change the subtraction to adding the opposite. So what that happens here is we change the subtraction to adding the opposite of b. So in this case, plus a negative b. Now down here, b is already negative, so we do add the opposite. We're changing this to addition. Opposite of negative b is positive b. So 5 minus 18, we can change this to 5 plus negative 18. And now this is just like what we were doing on the last page. They're opposite signs, so we can do 18 minus 5 is 13. This 18 was negative, so our answer will also be negative. This middle one, we can change it to 19 plus negative 3. They're the same sign, so we add their absolute values. 19 plus 3 is 22. Since they were both negative, your answer is negative. This next one, this 45 minus a negative 10, remember we can change this to add the opposite. So it just becomes 45 plus 10, it's 55. And this last one we can do add the opposite. So you have negative 6 plus 2. Thinking back to our rules from earlier, they're opposite signs. So if we do 6 minus 2, we get 4. The 6 was negative, so our answer is also negative. When we add and subtract fractions, key thing, we need common denominators. We need common denominators so that we know we're dealing with same size pieces, and it helps keep everything organized. So we want to use the adding and subtracting rules we just talked about. At the end, always simplify or reduce your fractions. So when we look at common denominators, your goal is to figure out what number can both of these divide into. It doesn't always have to be the smallest, but generally the smallest helps. So 6 and 9 both go into 18, so we can use that as our common denominator. 6 times 3 got us to 18, so if we do that to our denominator, we have to do it to our numerator also. Same thing, 9 times 2 got us to 18, so we have to multiply our 7 by 2. 15 plus 14 is 29. Our denominator stays the same. 29 and 18 have no like factors, so we can leave it. Next one, we got negative 2/3 minus 4/9. Our common denominator is 9. Make sure you have this negative out front here, and we're subtracting. And we did the first one, we had to multiply by 3/3 to get to the 9. So 2 times 3 is 6. Second one, we had to just multiply by 1/1, so it didn't change anything. Negative 6 minus 4, we can change this to plus the opposite to get negative 10/9. Alright, so same idea here. Let's first start by doing add your opposite. We can use 24 then we can add these together. 12 plus 9 is 21/24. Notice we can divide both of these by 3. And when we do that, 21 divided by 3 is 7. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So next up, 1/6 minus 5/12. We can do plus a negative. So our common denominator is 12. This one we got to multiply by 2/2. This one is just by 1. So now we have 2 minus 5. Remember, you can do the absolute values. 5 minus 2 equals 3. This 5 was negative, so it's negative 3/12. Don't forget that denominator. We can reduce both of those by 3. Negative 3 divided by 3 is 1. That's negative. 12 divided by 3 is 4. This last one over here, common denominator is 30. We see this first one is negative, so let's include that. We had to multiply this first fraction by 3 to get from 10 to 30, so we got to do it to the 7 also. And the second one, we multiplied 15 by 2, so we got to do that to the 8. Negative 21 plus 16 will give us negative 5/30. Reduce both of these by 5. And we're left with negative 1/6. So adding and subtracting decimals. Key things, line up the decimals, so make sure they're all in alignment with each other. And then we want to just use the adding and subtracting rules that we've talked about. So the key thing here, make sure we line up those decimals. Now notice there's a spot here. You can go ahead and any spots that don't have a decimal already there, you can go ahead and put your 0. And now just add like you have been for years. This next one, notice we can change this to plus a negative. So now we have a negative plus a negative. They're the same sign, so we can add them. And then remember, they were both negative. So our answer needs to be negative as well. And then these last two, remember for their opposite signs, we want to take the absolute values and subtract them. So we've got 51.45 minus 6.123. You can fill in this 0. We get 45.327. But remember this 51.45 was negative. So we take the sign of the value with the larger absolute value. So we get negative 45.327. So now when we multiply or divide two numbers with like signs, once again, remember both positive, both negative, the result is always going to be positive. If you have unlike signs, so one's positive and one's negative, the result is going to be negative. Anytime we multiply by 0, we get 0. And anytime we divide by 0, we get undefined. So first one, notice we've got a negative times a negative, so our answer is going to be positive. 15 times 3 is 45. 4 divided by 0, remember any number divided by 0 is undefined, so undefined. This next one, notice this is a positive and this is a negative, so that means they have unlike signs. We know our answer is negative. 12 divided by 3 is 4, so our answer is negative 4. On this last one, we're multiplying by 0. Anytime we multiply by 0, our answer is 0. So now taking these rules to fractions, there's two main ways we can multiply fractions. First, you can just multiply numerators, multiply denominators, and reduce. However, this can lead to big numbers. It works, but it can lead to big numbers, which sometimes mess people up. The easier way is take any common factors that you can divide from the numerator and the denominator and divide those out, then multiply your numerators and denominators. They also have the same rules on the last slide, so both positive or both negative, your answer is positive. If one's positive and one's negative, your answer is negative. Still multiplying by 0 is 0, still dividing by 0 is undefined. So looking at this first one, notice with this 20 and this 4, both of those are divisible by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Now there's the 27 and the 45. We can divide a 9 out from both of those. 27 divided by 9 is 3. 45 divided by 9 is 5. So that was this part, this dividing out common factors. So we have 5 times 5 for our numerator, we get 25. We have 3 times 1 for our denominator is 3. Don't forget we had a negative. Negative times a positive is a negative. So next one, in this negative 15, we can put it over 1 if that helps us work with the problem. So now notice with the 5 and the negative 15, we can actually divide out of 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And we can just multiply across. 18 times 3 is 54. 1 times 1 is 1, so we don't need to put it as our denominator. Negative times a negative is a positive, so our answer is positive. Now in this last one, notice between the 3 and the 8, there's no common factor. Same with the 4 and the 5. So we can't divide anything out, so we can go ahead and just multiply across. Remember, negative times a positive is a negative. When we divide fractions, key thing, we change it to multiplying by the reciprocal, but then we use those same rules of positive and negative. So if they're both the same sign, both positive or both negative, our answer is positive. If one's positive and one's negative, our answer is negative. So when we talk about multiplying by the reciprocal, what that means is we change it to multiplication and the second fraction just is going to flip. It's still negative. And now we can divide out our common factors. So with 3 and 12, we can divide out a 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 5 and 55, we can divide out a 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 55 divided by 5 is 11. And now we can multiply across. 1 times 11 is 11. 1 times 4 is 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. So we are done. Second one, we can go ahead and change this to negative 9 over 1 like we did before. So when we do multiplying by the reciprocal, it's going to be times 1 over negative 9 because we still need to flip the fraction just like we did over here. And now the 18 and that negative 9, we can divide a 9 out from both of them. 18 divided by 9 is 2. 9 divided by 9 is 1. Multiplying across, we get 2 over 25. And it was 1 positive and 1 negative, so our answer is negative. And this last, we've got negative 1/2. Multiply by the reciprocal. We can divide a 2 out from both of these. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Negative times a positive is a negative. When we multiply decimals, first things first, just multiply as if the decimal is not there. At the end, we can count how many total numbers we have after both decimals in our original problem and move the decimal back in that many places in our answer. And then the same rules apply to determine positive and negative. So both positive or both negative, your answer is positive. 1 positive, 1 negative, your answer is negative. So for this first one, so we've got 0.53 times 2.1. So we have 1, 1, 1, 3. Now, if you come back to the original, notice we had 2 numbers past the decimal here and 1 here. So we had 3 numbers past the decimal. So that means here we move in 3 times. And now look at our positive and negative. We've got a positive times a negative. So our answer is negative. Second one, we'll do the same way. Notice we only have 1 number past the decimal here, so we move it in 1 spot. And notice we have a negative times a negative. Negative times negative is positive, so it's 362. When we divide fractions, there's two main ways of doing it. First, we can make it into a fraction and then reduce, or you can use long division. A lot of people don't like using long division, so the fraction might actually be easier. So when we have 0.21 divided by 0.7, all this means is we can write it like this. Now notice we have 2 numbers after the decimal here, so we need to get rid of our decimals so we don't have decimals within fractions. So if we've got two numbers past the decimal, we can multiply by 100, because what that does is it moves the decimal 2 spots, but it'll also do it in our denominator. So our new numerator is 21, new denominator is 70. And now we can reduce this by dividing them both by 7. We'll get 3/10. If we wanted to do this with long division, the 0.7, so we've got 0.21 divided by the 0.7. So what we can do, we don't want any decimals out front, so we can move this decimal 1 spot, but we gotta do it to here too. Seven does not go into 2, but it does go into 21 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. When we subtract, we're left with no remainder. So it's 0.3. And I don't care whether you have this answer or that answer, they're the same thing. Just one's a fraction, one's a decimal. So now going on to the next one, we've got negative 1.145 divided by 5. So notice we've got 3 spots after the decimal, so we can multiply by 1,000. Just make sure whatever you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator as well. And then reduce down. We can divide both of these by 5. And that's where we're left. I'm going to go ahead and subtract this middle division so that we can do the long division for this problem. So 5 doesn't go into 1, whoops. But 5 goes into 11 twice. 5 times 2 is 10. When we subtract, we're it with a 1. Bring down the 4. 5 goes into 14 twice. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract, so we've got a 4 left. Bring down the 5. 5 goes into 45 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Subtracting, we're left with nothing. Keep in mind we had a negative divided by a positive, so our answer is negative.